Welcome, football stalkers. We just witnessed the game, Mamelodi Sundowns against Maritzburg United. The score is 2-2. Another draw, or should I say, another opportunity to get 3 points missed by Mamelodi Sundowns. I am joined by Karabo Cox, I'm joined by Mpedulo, Pitso, and I'm joined by Tlhologelo. Guys.
Koketso.
Yeah? Or Koketso?
Yeah, but no, it's fine. It's all right. That's my sister's name. My sister's name. So it's fine.
Well, guys, thoughts on the game? I'll get into Hore now what's the case, but let me hear what you guys say first.
Tlhologelo, you want to go first?
No, I don't want to go first because my heart's painful. You know, I'm upset. I'm really upset by this outcome. Yo, we blew it, man. We blew it. Today's score is on us. It's not on Maritzburg. It's on us. It's frustrating because we lost yet another opportunity to be league contenders, right? We gave them too much space. The first half, we were in control, right? But like I said, once Kevin Hunt changed that formation to 4 midfielders, we lost it. They started coming for us, and the second half they completely took over us. So it's on us. And this thing, home ground advantage. We lost to Cape Town City, go Loftus. Now we are throwing to Maritzburg, go Lucas. So frustrating.
Mpedulo?
Sure, guys. I'm lost. I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say anymore. Because I saw the starting lineup and I was so hopeful to say, no, I'm not even gonna eat early. This is we're gonna win here. We're gonna win here. It's just 3 points guaranteed. And then the defense, the goalkeeper, there was no communication there. Like I really have to say, in terms of our midfield and the attackers, we did well. There was a lot of creativity. There was a lot of chances done, even though they could have scored more. But they did well for those who were given a chance to play today. You know. But when it comes to our defense, I don't know what was happening there. Madisha and Onyango and Nascimento, there's no communication there. Like silly mistakes. Like you call for the ball if you're a goalkeeper, if you're coming out, and then you're gonna catch the ball, or you stay in your line if you see that you're not gonna reach there to catch the ball. Né? That's the
Just
first
to
goal.
come in, Mpeko, you know that Toru goal, ne? I don't understand why Onyango came out. Because the defenders were there, the ball was high. He would have been at a better angle staying back.
Yeah, you know,
I think I heard him calling.
I'll say this, Mpedulo. Mina, I was look like you. I was very happy with the lineup when I saw it. I mean, we've all been calling for Andy Lechan, and when you saw that, and when you even with the front attack, I think most of us probably were surprised seeing Meza, seeing Kumu, seeing
Nkuma,
okay, this could work. And you know, if I look at the first goal, you know, Madisha for me did nothing wrong. He was dealing with maybe he didn't clear it properly, but he headed the ball.
Yeah, I didn't clear it properly. That's what I saw. That's what I saw. Like the way he headed the ball straight to where it came from, or to where the all players are there, you know. And then also the goalkeeper, he had to shout. I heard him shouting, but I don't know if he was shouting for the ball or was shouting for something else. Ne? But as Tlhologelo said, that the ball was too far from him. He should have maybe remained in the line and waited to see what was going to happen. Ne?
So let me ask you this. You know, if we look at the previous seasons, Onyango has been that vital player in our team where he saved us in a lot of games. And now is the time for Onyango to do that. But it seems as though he hasn't come to the party yet. I mean, how many goals has he conceded thus far? I don't know. Maybe I'm being overcritical of Onyango, but it seems as though he's not. His performances are below par.
He's not himself lately. Since we came back, is not doing so well in terms of even structuring his defense. You know, as a goalkeeper, you have to shout your defenders, especially the centre backs. In those instances when there's a free kick or there's an attack coming, you have to be vocal as a goalkeeper. Yeah, and he's not doing that. He's not doing that. There's no leadership in the defense.
No, guys, I think with Onyango, we only noticing it now, or we only seeing it majority now because we're losing the games. If you think properly, remember the mistake against Eros, where he a straight ball that was coming to him, and then
it went down.
Yeah, that's mistake one. Remember the mistake against Polokwane City where there was a straight ball that was kicked and the ball just went underneath him.
Yeah,
last season.
Correct. So there's been a steady decline, but the problem, the thing is, we couldn't notice it. He could mask it with the fact that even though he had made that mistake, would go on and win the game, or we'd get desirable results. So
yeah,
I'm not surprised that it's happening now. Now we're going to be more critical because we're losing points and it's a must-win game, and we started to. So a lot of things are exposed, but it's been coming. We just never know.
Touching on that, sorry, Tlholo, you touching on that a bit. You know, I was actually going to get to that. That, you know, are we now, because we're not getting the results, being overcritical of certain things that we're seeing from players, that player, but I mean, for instance, I can say that there's probably a number of positives that one can look at from this game. One, the fighting spirit at least was there. Kumo had a good game.
Yeah.
Nkulise, maybe not in the first half, but in the second half he was much better. Cirino, we can see that his match fitness is not on. I mean, he's there in the first half. In the second half, he's disappeared. And I don't know. Even the coach, I mean, sometimes I don't want to be overcritical, but I was talking to Tlholo, and she'll come in here as well, in saying, if we look at all the coaches from Tintler, from Gavin Hunt, from all those, and even in the Barclays when we were watching in the first few games, was that every team have been using the 5 subs because they understand with the freshness of the team, and you know, but with our coach, it hasn't been the case. I mean, we were talking, I think the only time we saw Coach Pitso making all 5 subs was in that game where he put in Lafo and Lake in like 1 minute to go. And today he did the same thing, where you're like, but what are they going to do? We saw Kekana was tired. We saw that other players in the field were tired. You needed to refresh some legs because Maritzburg were much more fresher than us. Never mind us being 1 man down, but they looked more fresher. They were still playing, but we weren't. We were tired. We were even hooping the ball forward. I think that was an indication that we are tired. The moment we started hooping the ball forward, you're like, oh, it's at that point now.
Yeah. We're trying to get rid of the ball. Yeah, true story. You're right. We're going to be overcritical of these elements because get desperate times now. We have to win. We usually don't see these elements. So we're going to notice this thing. Madisha is going to be exposed and we're going to be critical of him. Even though he's going to have maybe pull a 6 out of 10, we're not going to be satisfied with that 6 out of 10. If he pulled a 3 out of 10 in the previous game, he wasn't that bad today. Even that the first goal, I'm not going to blame him because if you check, he headed the ball, but it ricocheted off Judas's head as well as it went to Deruk before he got that shot. So you could say, that's why I ended up saying, oh, actually, if you say technically it's an assist. Yeah, that guy. So we're going to see flames. We're not going to, nothing positive is going to happen. We're still going to see a lot of flames. Let's just concede the fact that it's gone. And it's not gone because Kaizer Chiefs have been great. It's gone because we gave it to them. We practically handed it to them. We will be fortunate. At this point, we will be fortunate if we make Champions League. That's how bad things are. Because we keep on concentrating on this team that's on top of us. We don't see what's happening below us. Teams are coming. So
Vets and Super Sport.
Come in, my brother. Come in. Your thoughts on the game? Are you with us, Murendeni?
Yes, I'm here, and today, like the guys have mentioned, the performance was much better. The lineup was better. I mean, I was convinced that it was gonna be 3 points, but one thing though is that the kind of goals that we are conceding, we are scoring the goals, but we are also conceding silly goals. And I know, it would be easy for us to blame someone like Madisha, but one of the reasons why Madisha makes a lot of mistakes is that Madisha commits a lot. He doesn't shy away from challenges, and when you don't shy away from challenges, you will one of two things will happen. You will either pull a 10 out of 10, or you will mess up somehow. But that is okay. And then the goalkeeper as well. Onyango has been prone to mistake. I think Koketso mentioned it as well. I mean, that guy makes a lot of mistakes. But because at Sundowns we were successful and things were going well, we sort of there was also this culture where we even stopped criticizing, even when things were wrong, because, we were always happy and stuff. But Onyango is prone to mistakes. And one thing about Onyango as well is that he doesn't have competition on the bench. I think he's too comfortable. You've got Kennedy Muene, and we know that Kennedy Muene is a squad player. He's not someone who's going to compete with Onyango. And then Riyad Pitso had an opportunity to compete, but that guy is just a joke. So Onyango knows that he can mess up today, and then he will still be in the starting lineup. So I think that is a problem. We need someone who's competitive, someone who will force Onyango to play at his best, someone who will come in whenever Onyango messes up and do better than him. But another thing that allows players to make mistakes time and again is Pitso's character. Pitso is one of those guys. He's one of those stubborn guys, and it's a blessing and a curse. Because when he gets things right, he will insist on whatever he's doing, and if it works, it's one of those things where I guess it's the thankless aspect of the coaching job, where if you get it right, it's good. If you get it wrong, we hammer you. But with Pitso as well, he's very stubborn. Even when he sees that something is, I think he's that kind of a guy who doesn't want to admit when he has made a mistake. Sometimes he makes mistakes in the lineup thinking that plan A will work, but he will want to prove some point.
Yes.
And the time trying to prove a point cost the team. But it's just the kind of guy that Pitso is, and there's nothing much that we can do about it.
Like you said, it's something that is good, and it's also a curse. I mean, I'll ask this guy's name. So I think leading up, as game progress, some of us assume that come Kaizer Chiefs game, probably it's an opportunity for us to close the gap or maybe overtake. But based on what we've seen in the games that we just saw from Sundowns, our defense is leaking. And who's to say that we are actually going to win that game? Because we're conceding the corners, we're conceding the set pieces, and this is where Kaizer Chiefs like playing. And who's to say that we're actually going to win that game? Because, as a Sundowns supporter, the last thing I want to do is, one, give a guard of honor. Secondly, lose a game to Chiefs that essentially wins them the league. That's so painful. And we are heading in that direction.
And my biggest fear is, is that Pitso will approach the Kaizer Chiefs game the same way he approached the Pirates game. Right? And that for me is my biggest fear, because aerially we cannot compete with Kaizer Chiefs. They are the kings of set pieces, right? So now we have to sit and think, how are we going to play the Kaizer Chiefs game in a manner that's going to get us 3 points? And that is very tough given how we've been playing lately. Yesterday we played a bit better, but like you said, our defense is leaking. When you think of Samir versus Madisha, You already in trouble. You know what I mean?
There's
So-
Castro even on top of that. There's Castro.
There's Castro there as well. You know, and you're not even sure if Peter's gonna put Nascimento in. So you have a
He's
possibility of
suspended.
Yeah,
Suspended.
Nascimento's out.
Suspended.
Yeah, Nascimento's out. So he's out. Nascimento's out for the
He's
Chiefs.
on Monday for Arrows.
No, for the Chiefs game, you got a red card, so it's 2.
Oh, red card.
Yeah.
And I might add the referee as well costed us with Jali, where he gave him the yellow card, which wasn't even a yellow card. Now we're gonna miss Jali for the Golden Arrows game.
Mm.
But it's
Right,
better
right,
than
right.
to have him for the Chiefs game. But also, do you get my point? What I'm saying, going into that Chiefs game, it is going to be especially if they win on Sunday.
And guys,
I
have you
remember.
guys seen how Arrows is playing lately? Oh my god!
I watched that nil Vets.
Hey,
It was
might
one
get
of the
up
most
easier for us.
entertaining 0-0 draws I've ever watched. Vets, they play this football that's out of this world.
Oh,
Mm.
So you know that
Talking about Kaizer Chiefs,
mm-hmm. What is it, Murendeni?
no, I'm saying that talking about Kaizer Chiefs, right? I think there are 2 things which worked in Kaizer Chiefs' favor this season. And one of them is that, sometimes things are just written in the stars. There are some seasons where you know that, whatever happens, maybe things were meant to happen. There was a season where I predicted that Chelsea will win the Champions League. And at that time, I mentioned that, it has nothing to do with football. It is just one of the things where you see that it's written in the stars. And I think that's how Kaizer Chiefs have been winning some of the games, Sometimes you ask yourself if these teams are playing dead whenever they rolling over and playing dead whenever they play against Kaizer Chiefs, because you just don't understand how those guys manage to win. But another aspect, I think, Pitso's failed mind game, and this is a conspiracy theory that I have. Pitso's failed mind game won Kaizer Chiefs the league, and I will explain why. We went into the Shell Helix Cup with youngsters. And at that time, I think our coach was hoping that the youngsters will have a good performance against Kaizer Chiefs.
Like last time.
And if those youngsters were to perform better against Kaizer Chiefs, it was going to be a psychological advantage for Sundowns. When that did not happen and we got a hammering, Pitso started talking now. He started talking about how lucky Ernst Middendorp is. And for the first time in years, we started to see Middendorp really keen to win. We started to see a different side of Middendorp, and I think that really motivated Middendorp, And
But I
because
think,
Pitso was
Murendeni, you proved something that Irvin said, right? To say that our focus, well, I don't know if it's you or Cox, who said our focus is too much on Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes.
And that is a mistake that we're doing.
Yes.
We are way too, Peter himself included, we are way too focused on Kaizer Chiefs.
It started with the coach, actually. It started with him.
Yeah, because if we go back to that Shell Helix Cup, when we were getting a hammering from Chiefs, the belief in those players, you saw it meant so much to them, winning the way they were against us. I mean, like you said, he was playing the youngsters, Kaizer Chiefs was playing the first team. And the way Kamabillet was celebrating, the way everybody was celebrating when they were scoring, and you just saw how important it was for them. And already psychologically, it played into now the minds of Sundowns players and their players and Chiefs players, where when we went into that first league encounter, Chiefs went in there believing that we came here to win. And that's exactly what they did.
There are just some things that you never do, right? Regardless of what is happening, there are some teams that you mustn't lose against. And when you're playing against your rivals, whether it's a friendly game or whatever, because it's the game where fans get to brag and it's rivals, you go with your best team. I don't believe, because winning is a habit. Those guys beat Sundowns, and a lot of us were saying it was mind games, whatever. Even when they went to soccer zone, Middendorp was getting angry at Pitso and whatever, and people were saying Pitso won the mind game. And my take then was that no, because winning is a habit, you cannot say Pitso won the mind game when Pitso lost the first game. The Kaizer Chiefs players went into that game confident that they will win. Sundowns were too eager to win, and things did not happen. And after we lost that game, the coach now shifted focus to the officiating, and that goes back to Lulu's point. I don't think Coach Pitso would have spoken about officiating if we had lost to Golden Arrows. Then it was because we had lost to Chiefs, and the pressure was starting to get to him. And when pressure started to get to him, a lot of decisions he made based on the fact that Chiefs is on top. And, when you've got your rival on top of you, sometimes you don't make sound decisions. So for me, we lost this season because we focused too much on Kaizer Chiefs. Last season, it was Orlando Pirates and Orlando Pirates as well, they didn't want it as much as Kaizer Chiefs do. Middendorp was told that he's one lucky coach. He needed to prove to Pitso that he's not a lucky coach.
Touching on Pirates, I think, as us Sundowns supporters, we obviously celebrated us winning the league last season. But, one important thing was that I think, let me rather talk about myself. When we went to the Champions League game, I was already, in my head, Pirates is gone. They're winning the league.
Yeah.
And let's concentrate on CAF. Let's get CAF. And even on that day, we got eliminated on that day. And then we heard the news that Cape Town City won the game. Then we're like, whoa, it's back on. But if it wasn't for that game, it was done. So
yes, it was done.
Luck was on our side. Cape Town City were able to score in the dying minutes of the game. Now coming back to now, Chiefs had for me, I would have preferred that cushion that Chiefs had over us. We don't have it. We don't have that luxury of making mistakes. So I question the Pirates game, why we went with that mentality of wanting a draw. Because if we look at Chiefs got 6 points from Pirates this season. They got 3 from us this season. So we can't assume that Chiefs is going to lose against Vets. When this season, I think, apart from the other season, this season alone, we failed to collect maximum points from our direct competitors.
Yeah, true.
And Chiefs was able to. And I think essentially that's how we also lost that game as well, lost the league. If we
this mentality of you don't have to beat Kaizer Chiefs or Pirates to win the league. It pisses me off.
It does.
It honestly pisses me off because we keep losing points that we could have to our advantage. Peter went into that game with his calculation of, even if I don't beat Pirates, I can still do 1, 2, 3 to win the league, right? And it's now clearly showing that those plans are not working out. I'm sure Pitso banked on at least beating Highlands Park. I'm sure he banked on winning today's game.
Yeah, he did. He even said so.
That's why he played the way he played on the Pirates game. Do you understand what I mean? So playing like that against Pirates and Chiefs, it's a disadvantage when you don't have the luxury of making mistakes.
You know, to your point, Lulu, I'm also one of those who was pissed by the whole story that you don't have to beat Kaizer Chiefs to win the league. Because, Kaizer Chiefs, every season where we win the league, we've got what I call the trans-ESK points. Those will be the points against the Joburg team. Because the Joburg team are our direct competitors. If you check all the seasons that we win the league, out of the 16 points against the Joburg team, we need to collect at least 8. This season alone, we collected 1 point from Orlando Pirates. So far, we've collected 1 point from Kaizer Chiefs. 2 points from Vet University and no points from Kaizer Chiefs. That is 3 out of a possible, how many teams? Out of a possible 18 points in Joburg. And when you don't collect those points, you cannot say you don't have to beat Kaizer. If you don't have to beat Kaizer Chiefs to win the league, then beat Orlando Pirates, beat Vets University, because those people will always also be challenging for the league title. And if you fail to do that, then you cannot go and then say you don't have to beat Kaizer Chiefs to win the league. So, and another aspect which I think is becoming problematic with Sundowns is that we've got the best technical team in terms of training, but if you listen to the interviews, you start to see that more and more focus is on preparing for the opposition. You start to see a lot of changes when we have to play Orlando Pirates. You see, even in the CAF Champions League, when we go to Wydad, you see more focus is on the opposition. What happens to the Sundowns way? I know, it's like going into an exam. You can look at past question papers and look at what kind of questions will come, but you still need to practice to ensure that you understand the content, so that even if what you thought will come does not come, you can still survive. But if you plan that things will happen in a certain way and they don't happen that way, and you cannot even make changes, because Pitso plans, and then when he plans and the game turns out to be different, we don't see changes from the bench. So it becomes a problem. So I think we need to go back to playing the Sundowns way, trying to beat the teams. It worked in 2016. In 2016, we are not focusing on Zamalek because we went there with an element of surprise. But these days, we don't have an element of surprise because every time we go to Pirates, we load the midfield, hoping that we will neutralize them. And if they change the strategy, then they beat us. So I think it's about time our technical team starts playing the Sundowns way. Even this thing of saying that Sundowns doesn't train, I don't get it, because now we've got the best fitness trainers, but we seem to be less fitter than the other teams who do not have the best. So are we complicating things?
I'll touch on what you're mentioning about Pirates and our Champions League. We go back to how we won the Champions League in 2016. We were fearless. We went to Algeria and we won that game when people didn't expect us to go there and win the game. We won that game. And we went and played with Zamalek. We did the same. We obviously we won against the Nyimba, we won against Zamalek here at home, but we went with our away games looking to play. And this way of when we go to Orlando, or maybe let me not even say when we go to Orlando, when we're playing Pirates or when we're playing a direct competitor, we go with this, let's be cautious. And I think we're playing in the hands of the opposition when we start doing that. Let's go out there and impose ourselves on this team and play away, because that's how we win. When we beat Pirates 3-1, we were imposing ourselves. When we beat Kaizer Chiefs at FNB and at Loftus, we were imposing ourselves. When we play Vets and we win, we're imposing ourselves. So when it comes to these guys, we need to impose ourselves in order for us to win. When we then start becoming cautious, then we're essentially not prepared to win the game. And like you're rightfully saying, if you look at the amount of points in Joburg alone, and when we say we don't win the league by beating them, but essentially if we go last season, we beat Pirates and we lost the game, or not last season, but the season before. So essentially we got 3 points out of Pirates rather than 2. And we go back and look at Chiefs.
What's the disadvantage of the way we play when we focus too much on the opposition, right? Is that when you play a coach who can read the game, like today, then you're in danger, right? And it's the same thing that happened with the Pirates game, because the moment Zimbabwe realized that we are playing because he expected us to come full on, right? And then we're very defensive in our play. And what did he do? He changed, and they came to us. And which is the same thing that happened today. The moment Tinkler saw and read the game, he changed his formation, and it completely threw us off board. So when you're playing a coach that can read the game, we become
Normally you'd hear Coach Pitso talk about there's a certain sub that was suggested by Coach Mangoba. Now, like you're rightfully saying, we have one of the best technical teams in South Africa at the moment. And we know as the leader, Coach Pitso is the leader in the technical department. But now, it can't be that other teams such as Maritzburg and the like are making early subs to change the game, and yet we are not. I don't know. It's just puzzling me that, you sit there and you laugh and you're thinking, I know my coach is not going to put in the subs. I can be as frustrated as I want. He's not going to sub until the 85 minute or 90 minutes. And that's exactly what happens.
When the 5 sub rule was introduced post lockdown, there was a global debate, and the question was asked: is the 5 sub rule going to favor the smaller teams or the bigger teams? And there were some people who were saying that no, it's going to favor the teams with depth, because with 5 substitute, you are changing almost half the team. In fact, we are changing half the infield players. So changing half the team means that you can switch between plans depending on how the game is going. And the team with smaller squads will suffer. But Sundowns as a team with a bigger squad, or as a bigger team with better players, we have not utilized that advantage. We failed to utilize that advantage, which, the other day I asked the question as a joke that, guys, are our coaches only able to analyze videos? Can they analyze things from the field? Do they need a video session to see what is happening? Because I'm puzzled, guys. You see things are not happening, but you don't make changes. I don't know. Maybe we are coming with too many modern methods that we are forgetting the basics. Watching the game, and then after watching the game as it goes on, and then you make necessary changes. And for me, one of the things is that, I respect Coach Pitso a lot, but I think this thing will destabilize the squad, because as players you see that things are not happening, and you expect to be called in, but nothing happens, and then you get introduced in the 92nd minute. What are you going to do in the 92nd minute? So Coach Pitso needs to be careful. That thing can destabilize the team.
I agree with you, Morens. I just want to summarize this thing, Coach Pitso, where he talks about we don't have to lose against a certain team to win the league. I think the biggest problem is that Pitso is so focused. He hates losing so much to a point that he doesn't realize that you have to win. So to him, it's like, if I don't lose, that's good, because he hates like we all know how Pitso gets when he lost. Remember when we lost against Pirates in the Nedbank Cup, where he even wanted to cry and there were people taking pictures of him, there were tears in his eye. He really, really, really hates losing to a point where I'd rather not lose, but I'll not go for all-out attack. I'll not go for broke, but so long as I don't lose, get sharp. And that thing chowed us, because Kaizer Chiefs realized they have to beat Sundowns to win the league, because when you beat Sundowns, it's a 6-pointer. When we win one game, the game as Sundowns has added, but I have 3 points, and they played more games. So it's a 6-point. They've got 6 point different lettering. So they're going to beat us again. I'm not even going to lie. They're going to beat us again. They're going to beat us, smash and grab. They're going to get a corner kick goal, because our defense is lethargic. Like, defense right now, it's pathetic. We even our best defenders out. No, our defense is pathetic. I'm not even going to lie. Our best defenders out. So we'll be going there probably with Libusa and Madisha, hopefully. But knowing Pitso, he can go there, Arendse and River. So it's good.
I think, guys, psychologically again, if we look at Chiefs is celebrating 50 years, we are celebrating 50 years. It's far more important. This is going to be written in the history books. If Chiefs win the league this season, in our anniversary, we won the league. We didn't win a league in our anniversary. So, and also, Chiefs are now facing a situation of the FIFA ban. Now imagine if we as Sundowns win the league. Psychologically, it's gonna hit them hard. Where now they basically going into the new season without having to sign anyone. Whereas we have the possibility of strengthening our side and being better than them. But now if they win the league, essentially they can have the belief in saying, okay, so we've won the league with the squad. So essentially we can do the same next season. And it then becomes easier for them to bring in their youngsters in a winning team for their future.
And another thing is, they are also winning a league with an unpopular coach. We don't even know if Middendorp has got a future at Kaizer Chiefs. So imagine they win the league and then they fire Middendorp. Imagine the banter, guys. People are gonna say that, you know what, that coach was not even good enough, but at least we won the league, we took the league from Sundowns, and then we fired a plumber. Guys, come on.
And you know, guys, me, I personally have a problem. You know, I like that singing competition, man. But guys, we don't even have a logo for our 50 years. Last time we heard there was a competition for the new emblem. We still haven't seen it.
We do. We haven't seen it, but it's coming. When the new season resumes, it's coming with the new logo and the 50-year regalia.
You know the problem with Sundowns, Ivan. My biggest problem with Sundowns is one. You know, Sundowns, we make sentimental decisions. That's why Sundowns will never be the best that we can be. You know, you want to, and I know it's controversial, but sometimes you need to go for the best. You know, some of the problems that we have at Sundowns is because we have hired people because they've got some history with Sundowns. Now that's why you've got the likes of Alex who are just sitting here doing nothing. You know, sometimes go for the best man for the job.
You are deviating from the point of this thing now.
But you know, not. We don't want to drive too much away from. But essentially, if we're looking at us celebrating 50 years this year, now we know there were plans in the pipeline, which COVID-19 essentially disturbed. But if we're looking at the league, maybe we'll have another platform to discuss what we're unhappy about, what's going on in the club. It's 50 years, guys. And whoever will win the league between us and Chiefs will have the biggest bragging rights in the upcoming years.
Why is it 50 years, Sky? My biggest thing is whoever takes that trophy keeps it forever. Like,
because of Absa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So whoever takes it this season keeps it forever.
So, and do you know what? We are both with Chiefs. We have 12 league titles there overall. Whoever wins it now goes to 13.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me ask you.
So they will always lead and will always follow.
Yeah. So then my question now is, and by the way, if never mind the 12th, if we're looking at in the PSL era, I saw Sundowns winning at least a cup a season was us closing a gap on Chiefs, because maybe Chiefs doesn't win as many leagues as we do in the PSL era, but they've won a lot of cups, and I saw that as us closing the gap on them, essentially overtaking them. But now with them winning the league, they again extending that one extra cup where now we need to cover more. Or maybe unless if we win the Nedbank Cup, one can argue and say it's still the same. But about this season, is it gone or do we still have a chance?
It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. It's gone. Whoever thinks the league is not gone, it's gone because we are not good enough. I concede the fact that we're not good enough to win the league. We do not deserve to win the league this season.
And you know what's the biggest issue, Sundowns, in it? You see this thing of us peaking towards the end of the season is now killing us. Because before COVID, we come very strong towards the end of the season, right? But now, this is sort of beginning of the season. And this is our weakest point of the season, record shows. So we don't have that time to pick up. By the time we pick up, season is done. It's over. So it has taken the league. It's gone because Now we want to win by mathematics. We must squeeze bums Sunday. And then we must squeeze bums Monday. And then squeeze bums again Friday.
It's not good for bowel movements.
God. It's gone.
Okay, so in closing, guys, a minute to say what you're gonna say.
You'll be squeezing bums or and then the next thing.
Tonight's match we needed.
All right, I'll go first. It's the Nedbank Cup, and then that's cool. Sharp. So now let's see what we're going to do next season. I saw promise, and promise delivered. So I want to see promise. I want to see policy. I want to see Koketso now. I want to see even this kid, Parks. He must Pagama now. He should be the senior man in the team that's supposed to play next season. So I consider Evaile. Let's build for next season. Let's play the boys that are supposed to play next season. Aksanata, whether we lose now or we draw, it's fine. It's okay. So let's invest now. It's time to get these investment loss for next season. Sharp.
Right, guys.
Y'all been silent.
Yeah. I think now we just have to secure our second place for CAF. We just have to make sure that second spot is safe because the league is gone. If we really wanted to win the league, we should have won today's match to send a strong message to Chiefs so that like Chiefs will play on Sunday, they will be chilled because they still have a 5-point cushion. And we are playing Monday against Arrows, and Arrows are coming from a loss. So like the league is gone. So now what we need to do is to secure our second place and make sure because Vets and I think also Super Sports. Yeah, are also coming like really fast for that second spot. So yeah, we have to secure the second spots and then prepare for next season, win the Nedbank Cup because I saw Celtics are very good, and if we continue playing like this, I don't see us winning the Nedbank Cup. So yeah, those are my final words.
Tlholo?
Yeah.
I'll just reiterate the words of Cox and Mpedulo. 1, league is gone. 2, we need that second place spot for CAF. 3, let's at least try to win the finals, the Nedbank finals, to console ourselves. And 4, and most important, let these oldies come out. It's time. Onyango, Mabunda, Kekana, Langamani, those 2016 chaps, they must leave, they must vie. We want more from Kuma, we want Harold, we want Lukubeni-ish, but we want more of these young oaks. It's time.
More?
If I have to use my head, the league is gone. It's over. But because I'm also an emotional person, there's that thing where I'm hoping that, something terrible will happen. But let me go with my head. It's done. It's finished. We need to focus on the future, but we need to board with our pride intact. Right now our pride is gone, but we can sort of retain our pride. Not that it will matter that we have won 2 trophies if we win the Nedbank Cup in a season that Kaizer Chiefs win the league. It won't matter because they will have won the league. But yeah, we need to, for me, a player like old players, whether they are doing well or not, with a coach like Pitso, they pull us back because when an older player performs, like when KK performs, it means that younger players are not getting a chance to play. So it's about time that, that is why I was not happy with Mpokikana 4-year contract. Mpokikana and the older players are supposed to be squad players. They're supposed to be players who will come in when the chips are down. But it's about time we start relying on the younger players, get the younger players to play, bring in Jody February and Ricardo Goss, and let those two compete for the goalkeeping position. Keep Onyango there for guidance and stuff, but it's about time we go with the younger players. We need to start building for the future. We do have our spine. We do have the experienced players. Now, when we talk about the experienced players now, we shouldn't be talking about Shompo Kikana. We shouldn't be talking about Wayne Arendse. When you talk about the experienced player, we should be talking about the likes of Mishishi. We should be talking about players who are not on the other side of 30, and we should start building.
She's on the other side of 30, by the way.
Also on the other side of 30 as well. So you see,
he's 31.
You see such things as well. So it's about time we throw the likes of Promise into the deep end like he did today. Throw them in and they will perform. Because if you look at Shompo Kikana, I mean, what is supposed to motivate him? He's got it all. Dennis Onyango, what must motivate Onyango? He's got the Champions League, he's got at least 5 league titles, he has won almost everything. But bring players who have never won it so that they can fight for it.
Oh, thank you very much, guys. I guess one can definitely say that it's favor to Kaizer Chiefs again. But what a game today. Much better from Sundowns. Unfortunately, it didn't result in 3 points. Disappointing night for us. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. We'll see what transpires in the upcoming days. I can also say that for me, I'm still hoping that it can change, but doesn't seem to be the case. It doesn't seem like it's going to be the case at the end of the season.
But football is a strange game, eh?
Very painful.
What? Football is a strange game. Football is a strange game. The same Kaizer Chiefs once gave Jomo Cosmos the league. I think they needed to win 1 out of 4 games, and then they just went on drawing, and and they don't have a coach. Like, we'll listen to when Nkululeko uploads, you will hear that they don't have a coach.
Junior Khan. Guys, we disappointed. We disappointed Junior Khan.
He was fighting for us. He was fighting for us.
I was fighting for us.
Well,
I'm sure wherever he is, it's like, Sundowns.
That's disappointing. They
let me down. They let me down.
Well, there you have it, guys. It's Football Stalkers signing out. You know what to do. You can comment below. You can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. I'm signing out. Cheers.